Okay, let's share some inspiration from us.
So we're using Optimonk for a while now. And one of our main objectives was to make people remember that all our activity is based on donations. We checked our audience in Planet 4. Most entries to our Planet 4 are from people who look for environmental source for their study, school, work. Other entries are from people who are looking to do something meaningful or volunteering or something like that, and people who want to read our blog. Now, we don't want to pressure these people, and we don't want to be too annoying. So that's why we looked for a solution that will make the pop-up run not every time and not on the first load, but only after the people read the page by the half of it, scrolled a bit, maybe moved between a couple of pages, and we know that they are interested in our content. Then the pop-up needs to come up and remind them that this content was made possible by donations. You can move forward. Yeah. Oh, and another thing, just note that our donation site is separate from Planet 4. So we run the pop-up, and the pop-up sends them to a different landing page on our donations website when we can get the donations. And that's why I was so interested in the new upcoming changes in Optimonk, because it's good to be able to target people by different segments and present them different pop-ups. But we show the pop-ups on one website, and then we take them to another website where they can put the donation. So what we did, no, move back.
Sorry.
Yeah. So what we did so far is using the take action boxes, which are performing quite well here in Israel. And of course, the buttons that we use on our WordPress posts. You can move forward. Yeah, so using Optimonk helped us to raise awareness to our donations for free environmental content, and Optimonk helped us to make sure the pop-up will come up only in certain situations while not harassing. You can move forward. So this is how the test went. And we tested two types of pop-ups, one in the middle of the page and one on the bottom of the page. Two sets of timing. One is while exiting our page, and one by scrolling more than 50% of the page. And two different call to actions. I don't know why I didn't take my text and just put Lorem Ipsum, but never mind. And we tested the different creative, practical versus emotional. Now let's see this. This is an example for the practical. You can see it's in the middle of the page. It's all about a webinar that is coming up with a parliament member. Let's move forward to see another example. The hidden, as I said, it's on the bottom of the page. You can see it's right there. It's short, simple, and in the kernel it says we need you so we can make more content and win more environmental victories. Join as a donor.
Sorry.
Yeah, this one. Wait, let me just clear screen. Okay. And the last one is a bit longer. It's not the last one, sorry. It's a bit longer, and it shows more of an activism aspect. And it says, especially now, we added the especially now after the beginning of COVID. Especially now, we need your help more than ever. We do not accept donations from governments and corporations, but only from people like you. You can move forward. And the last one, and it was also the winning one, longer, centered, and emotional. We want to fight for you. Greenpeace Israel is the only environmental organization who is fully independent. Would you give a voice to the one who don't have one? And the button says, yes, I do. And with emotional photo. And just one quick note, just move back for a second. Quick note, it's about other languages. Hebrew is written from right to left, so it was very important for us that this will support Hebrew. Now, this screenshot is taken from Optimonk. You can see that the punctuation is on the wrong end in Hebrew. It's supposed to be in here, but it inherits the CSS code from Planet 4. So everything is working just fine. Okay, you can move forward. So we tested when to show on the exit of the page or after a scroll. And another option is after several seconds. And the simpler one has one, and only people who are interested in the content was shown the pop-up. We can move forward. Frequency. So we didn't want to, if someone is now moving between a few articles in a website, we don't want the pop-up to harass them. So we put a limit on that, 2 times in an hour. This was the winning one versus several times to show. You can move forward. And you can see that the action box is performing quite better than Optimum, but using them both together raised our online donations and helped us to reach more audiences that weren't aware that Greenpeace needs more donations. Now, if you have any questions, I can answer.
I'm just going to share my screen very quickly with the presentation. Right. So it's going to be as quick as possible. Supposing everything should be there in detail. So what we wanted to actually test is different types of engagements. How did we set up the test? What was the performance? What were the hiccups and our learning side of it? And what was the winner? So this is briefly the agenda. So we had the hypothesis that there are 2 different types of engagement. One of them is the usual ask, sign a petition, support the cause. This was related to the Mercosur agreement, yes. And the other one was related to a bit different kind of engagement possibilities related to the Danish Crown, which is a company that it's related to food production, etc. Both of them have ties with the Brazilian deforestation in Amazonia. So they are sharing similar visual identity, as you can see from the pop-ups. And the different thing about the Danish Crown asks that you're possible to send a pre-written email, you're possible to call them because there's like phones written there, to pressure them on social media when you write to them, tag them, etc. So it's a very diverse type of action that you're able to do when you read a bit about the campaign itself. Here, there are the links. about both of them. So if you feel like you want to check it out, feel free to do so. We didn't really have any specific target audience in mind. The only thing that was actually sort of like a limitation, that it was a local campaign. So we were targeting people in Denmark, naturally. And in general, that's how the both pop-ups were looking like. You see they were kind of similar with a little bit variations. In general, this one, it's about the Danish crown, and it's inviting you to read more about the subject and then follow up the actions, or the clear one here, which was actually the winner with the sign up a petition. It's inviting you to sign up. So you actually, by signing up, you support the cause that you want to save Amazon from the destructive actions happening there. Both of them were having teasers that were pulsating, and you can see the example of the teasers here. Next thing was the triggers. So this was the part that in general, it's possible to make a bit of issues. So what we wanted to do is just to limit, first of all, the amount of times that the person can actually see the pop-up. So it was maximum 1 time per visitor. We wanted to exclude people that are already coming from external links, like posts that we have tagged with UTM tags from our social media posts, or maybe coming from an email journey, etc., or from an ad. So we're just only simply want to see people who are there from the organic search, somehow ended up on the website. And of course, people who have not seen the campaign. The thing is that here at the bottom, where we were supposed to exclude the page visitors specifically on the campaigns that, the page that contains the campaigns, this was not done. And we realized that a little bit ahead of time, which actually was a good learning, and I'll tell you a little bit in a little bit why. In general, we are using them on post pages that contains the certain words like Amazon, Mercosur, etc. So that worked very well. No complaints there. And then this is how it looks from the analytics that is provided as a data from Optimonk itself that you can see on the page. The thing is that if you don't have Optimonk connected to your analytics account, you can have a dashboard where you can monitor what's happening, where it's happening. It's going to be very difficult to actually spot any errors, to make conclusions, because this is very basic. Essentially, this is an A/B test that divides the 2 pop-ups. And as you see, this is for the Mercosur, and then you can select the device, mobile, desktop, and pretty much that's it. This is how it looks for the Danish crown. They're similar in engagement. And this is the graph for the desktop and the graph for the mobile. So here comes the interesting part. This is how it looks in our Google Analytics dashboard. And thanks to Maria, our data analyst, she spotted the problem. And this was the first learning. It's important to have it actually linked so you can monitor what's going on, fix errors, and see what is exactly the performance. So there is this distinction between people who only saw the pop-up and just didn't interact with it. They just moved on, or people who actually clicked on the pop-up and then performed the action. It's a good conversion rate. But of course, if the pop-up is showing on the page where you promote the actual petition signing up, it will perform better. In general, this is how it looks, the clean data that was fixed later on. And you can see the conversion rates are quite similar in terms of click-through rate, because the only thing that you can see in the pop-up analytics is actually who clicked on the pop-up. but whether they actually performed the action that you are inviting them, you don't really see that. So you really need to have your analytics in place so that you can follow up whether this person actually signed the petition or did any of the actions, etc. And we can see clearly that the conversion rate for signing up a petition, which is a lower ask, it was quite good. It was much better than the other one that was a bit more demanding and needed more things to be done. What's good of this is that we realized how good the pop-up actually serves the purpose of putting focus on a certain topic when that is somewhere on a post page. We have a very good like a very big audience that it's reading posts and articles, and actually the pop-up was performing very well. You could even say that it was better than the take action box out, because it's more in your face, and people are actually tending to click that and then follow up the action. So this is a good alternative that could be considered as for the take action box out that we have already in place. And the long story short, the winner, as I said, was the Mercosur agreement, where the ask was a bit lower. It's not really that much of an effort to sign a petition rather than call to a company or pressure them with emails, etc. So there was hardly any surprise there. And the other thing is that we need to make sure that whenever we do something, we proofread it, we check it. That was a good learning. Low-level asks, of course, perform better. And yeah, that's pretty much it.